Hello, and welcome back to another Xenoblade Chronicles X video. In this video, I will be covering the current world record for the Candid Incredible Heavy Hitter leaderboard, with perspectives from both the Assault Rifle Knife support and the hitter's POVs, as well as a breakdown of the strategy used. If you aren't interested in any of the details or explanations, there will be timestamps in the description for both perspectives. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get into the build descriptions. First, let's go ahead and talk about the hitter's build. There are two viable ray guns for this, with one being more consistent and the other one being more damage. The one that I have here is the double potential vantage attack ray gun, which is the more consistent of the two. However, it's not what was used in the actual world record, as in that we used a double potential thyroid slayer. I do not have this one, but Intra does, so I will go ahead and flash up that on the screen real quick. And for the augments on it, we're just running 3 ether attack. And on our Javelin, we're running double potential with another ether attack and 2 appendage crusher. What would be more optimal for this is to have either thyroid crits or critical chance as the third trait on this, however I do not have a Javelin with either of those traits. Specifically, thyroid crits would be better for the ray gun that I have with vantage attack, due to the fact that as long as you don't have critical power, which is within your control, the critical hit will never kill the caro that we overdrive burst on, whereas a crit will always kill with the thyroid slayer ray gun. Thus, having a lower critical hit rate on the first overdrive burst is preferred, while you still want the crit chance skill in general in order to improve the crit rate on the time that we actually go for the hit. For the rest of the armor is pretty simple, just double potential headgear with potential boost augment, and then shop gear with potential upgrade and a whole bunch of potential up augments. For the arts, Trident Buster isn't used, but it does give you a range combo indicator, which can be nice. Master Gunner is the aura of choice for the potential boost that we get. Hair Trigger is our source of supercharge. Ether Blast is the art that we're going to be hitting with. We'll skip over these for now and talk about Subterfuge, which again is not necessarily required, but it does give the hitter the ability to generate their own TP, which can be very good for sequencing and allowing us to do things with a little bit less crosstalk, calling out for TP. And then the final arts are Clarity Ray, Gravity Cloak, and Beam Barrage. These are used to build overdrive count on the inside caro, which we will talk about a little bit whenever we get to the actual breakdown of the strategy itself. But of note, Beam Barrage is level 1 to minimize the amount of damage that we deal. For our skills, we are running Core Crusher, because this will increase the damage cap beyond 39 million. Inner Search to boost our potential even further. Combo Gunner, as is the best additive that we can get. And then we're choosing Machine Gunner over Night Vision to reduce the damage on the overdrive burst, while still giving an extra 100% additive. Of note as well, we are the Mastermind class. This is just for even further boosted potential, which matters more than the extra skill slot we would get from being Drifter, which has a significantly lower potential stat. For the soul voices that matter, I have Medicine Woman, which gives us crit power 4, and we can upgrade to crit power 5, as well as Wayward Weather, which can be used to pull for a +3 tier debuff, which we will be using for our Ether Resistance Down debuff. With the strategy we used at the end, usually this would be pulled for by the Assault Rifle Knife, but it's always good to have as a backup. Other than that, I'm pretty much just trying to run soul voices that won't be confusing to other things that happen. For example, my Dismember is the yellow soul voice because I don't want it to be mistaken for a Wayward Weather, and same with Heavy Hitter being the melee attack instead of the debuff. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the Assault Rifle Knife support build. The next build that we're going to be talking about is going to be the Assault Rifle Knife. For my knife, I'm running a 4 slot from Chapter 13 with Arts Gain TP. The regular Sermon knife works perfectly fine here, but the Arts Gain TP gives a bit more comfort, with 4 ranged appendage damage augments, as well as a Ultra Nebula Annihilator with ranged appendage damage and ranged attack up. Additionally, I'm running 3 more ranged appendage damages on this. The reason for this is that I'm going to be performing the Phantom Appendage and Weakening Set Appendage with this build, so we want to have quite a bit of ranged appendage damage and enough ranged attack and weapon attack in order to be able to weaken the appendage quickly, as we will need to be doing everything pretty quickly, as we need to finish this before weather changes. For my headgear, I am running the Supreme Angel Halo for more ranged attack, the Ultra Boundless Light Plate with Aura Rapid cooldown for my chest plate, as well as 2 more Aura Rapid cooldown augments to reach a total of 60%, which combined with the 2 skills that I'm going to be running for faster cooldowns will give me basically 100% cooldown on my arts for primary cooldowns. The arms are TP with ranged attack and more ranged attack on the other arm, just to further boost my damage, and resistance reducer TP on the pants for higher TP and the resistance reducer to help inflict my debuffs. I also have 2 additional resistance reducers on the headgear. This is completely excessive, but at the time I didn't know what else to run on them. In hindsight, some max TP up would have been nice as a comfort skill, but it didn't end up mattering, so this is what we went with. A special note for the class we are running the Shield Trooper. This is because this class has the lowest possible potential, and since the caro just barely survives both overdrive bursts, we wanted to optimize this as much as we could. For the arts, I'm running Smooth Recovery so that I can build overdrive count. This will allow Intra to start, or the hitter in general, to start with 50 count whenever they activate their overdrive, limiting how many attacks they need to max their overdrive count. Screamer is used to keep the caro in place outside. Originally we were using Brainjack for this, but we ran into issues with the caros fighting and killing each other, so Sleep ended up being better to keep them both from causing any issues and from having any issues with them infighting. Full Specs is my aura to boost my ranged attack to help me weaken and destroy the appendage. Decoy Round is used to both lure the caro at the start and to help us line up the caro for the hit itself. Furious Blast is used to lock my overdrive count. We'll talk more about this during the run itself. I have it at level 1, though ideally, I will never actually hit a caro with this. I will overdrive cancel it, but in the off chance that an Soul Voice or something blocks my ability to overdrive, we want to do it as little damage as possible with it. Assault Hammer is level 2 because we want it to be lower level to reduce damage, but we also wanted to sequence the topples so that we didn't have the 15% chance to upgrade topple getting in the way. Last Stand is used so that I can TP battery if needed. I don't use this much, but it does come in handy. And finally, Energy Source is used for the source of potential up for the hitter so that we can further boost their damage. For the skills that I'm running, as mentioned, I'm running Fast Forward and Trigger Happy to give me 50% more cooldown. This will essentially give me 100% Aura Rapid cooldown, as well as Beauty Sleep to extend the sleep duration that I will inflict on the caro outside. One skill that I could be running to let me weaken the appendage on the caro just a little bit faster would be Appendage Erosion, but this actually stacks multiplicatively with the ranged appendage damage I'm already running and made it very difficult to consistently weaken the appendage, so we opted to just drop it at a certain point because the inside caro had enough HP to make things work, even if it would have been nice to have been able to save a lot more HP on it. For Soul Voices, I'm running Medicine Woman to provide critical power so that we can get crit power 4 and upgrade to crit power 5. Wayward Weather so that our phenomenon doesn't have to be as high of a level to inflict ether resistance down 6. Sprinter to give effect stasis. This allows us to extend the duration of the buffs on the hitter, both whenever we're setting up and going for the hit, as well as Toppler, as this is the highest additive that we can give to the hitter to suck up, giving 300% per Soul Voice for a total of 900% whenever we have all 3 supports using it. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the Photon Saber Assault Rifle build. For the Photon Saber Assault Rifle build, the main thing that we need is a 4-slot Photon Saber and a 4-slot Assault Rifle. And the actual attempt, the person who had a Photon Saber, I believe, was just using the base Summit Saber, but I personally have one with Arts Gain TP and Melee Accuracy, which are both useful traits, so that's the one I'm using for this showcase. The Arts Gain TP is useful for helping keep the TP up, which is why we're also running 4 Arts Gain TP augments. And the Ether Resistance down is to make sure that our debuff lasts long enough to where we can go from when we inflict it with the Wayward Weather until we go for the hit. Additionally, Melee Accuracy is useful in order to help prevent the chance of missing our phenomenon, though it's not necessary, as we are running the rare NVD with Max Night Vision in order to help improve our accuracy. Additionally, for the rest of our gear, we are running as much TP as we can, as well as Aura Rapid cooldown, and the arms to make sure that we do not end up increasing our damage at all. For the right arm, we want to make sure we have range draw surge maxed out, as we will be needing to get range draw surges during the run itself. And for the boots, I just kind of have TP resistance reducer, though TP is the only thing that's really necessary here. For the Art's Essence Exchange is a quick way to get a free bar of TP. Astral Horizon is a aura that does not increase the damage at all, as well as it giving the ability to have Astral Heal affect all party members, which can be useful for fishing out the crit soul voice that we don't get during the hit. Phenomena is specifically level 3, so that with the secondary cooldown, it gets ether resistance down 3. And then with the Wayward Soul Voice, with the Wayward Weather Soul Voice, this will get upgraded to ether resistance down 6. Assault Hammer is level 3, so that we do as little damage as possible with it, while still avoiding any upgrade shenanigans, as well as Last Stand in order to be the TP battery of the party. We are also running the Enforcer class, as it has very low melee attack, and we do not need the extra skill slots from being Side Corruptor. The main important skill to be running is Long Topple, as this will give us extra time on the topple whenever we go for the hit. And I'm just running Third Eye for extra ranged TP, ranged art TP. I don't know what was being run during the actual attempt. For Soul Voices, we need the +1 tier to a buff range draw, Sprinter effect stasis for the same reason as before, Toppler for the same reason before, and Master Woman is the same reason as before. With that out of the way, let's get into the fourth and final build, which is going to be the Shield and Sniper. And finally is the Shield Sniper support class. For this, we only need just the base Chapter 13 4-slot Shield and Sniper. They don't need any specific traits, with full ranged appendage damage on all of the augment slots. Outside of that, we pretty much just are running the rare MVD once again to help with our accuracy, 100% aura rapid cooldown, and a range draw surge on the arm so that we can guarantee that. Outside of that, we're just fitting as much TP as we can. For our arts, we're running Howling Soul so that we can get the potential boost from that. Intercept is our stun art that's going to be used. We could technically have leveled this down at the cost of a lower duration, but the timing is already pretty specific to get everything through, and 4 seconds is not a lot of time, so we just opted to keep the 4-second duration. Ghost Sniper is the aura of choice because all of the shield auras either reflect or have spikes, which we don't want. Wild Down is the topple art for this class, and we have it leveled down to 1 as it will be the first in the topple sequence. We have level 1 Shrapnel for breaking the tail while dealing minimal damage, as well as Mindstorm to burn the critical soul voice before going for the hit. Only one skill is available because we're the Striker class to minimize range attack and potential stats, so we have the Unwavering Courage skill just to help boost our melee accuracy for the topple just a little bit more. I don't actually think this matters, but I'm not sure if any other skill is more useful. And for our soul voices is the same as the Photon Saber assault rifle. We have the range draw so that we can use it for the buff sequence, Sprinter with effect stasis to extend our buffs, Medicine Woman to help get us crit power, and the Toppler soul voice for the hit. Wayward Weather is also on here. I don't think that we ever really needed to pull for it with the Shield Sniper, but it's always good to have an extra option. With that out of the way, let's get into the strategy discussion part of the video. So right at the start, Intra is going to switch from holding his ray gun to holding his javelin in order to not get secondary cooldown on his ray gun arts, as Beam Barrage will do too much damage if it's used on secondary cooldown on the inside caro. Additionally, right at the start, I'm going to do a bit of a funky jump to get up this cliff without being seen by the caro. This is so that we can pull for the Wayward Weather Soul Voice later, as if the caro sees me now, I'm instantly going to get the Soul Voice. It's not the end of the world if we don't get it, but we can sequence our buffs and debuffs a little bit faster if we're able to pull it consistently a little bit later in the run. Additionally, we need to have a level 55 caro for this strategy to work. If it is level 53 or 54, the caro will not be able to survive both overdrive bursts. I use Decoy Round to taunt the caro and get him to follow me to where we want to set up. I wait until I am no longer receiving the buffs from the weather to activate my overdrive, and then I activate my aura for Aura Rapid Cooldown and extending the sleep debuff. I then begin building overdrive count with smooth recovery. Of note here is I cannot use overdrive green bonus or overdrive count up augments, as those don't work properly for sharing overdrive count whenever you're playing online. Once I hit max count, Intra's going to activate overdrive, and I wait for his burst to use any other arts, as I want to keep my palette green so that his art palette will start green. The caro survives both bursts, which is a not good range to happen. I don't know the exact odds of it happening, but Intra cannot crit, and we have to get relatively low rolls. And I believe here the caro survived on exactly 12 HP, so pretty close margins. Once Intra's used his overdrive burst, he'll begin building count, and I am able to use my aura into Screamer to get the extended duration benefit from the overdrive color combo. Additionally, I have to wait for the caro to activate its enraged aura to put it to sleep, otherwise it will not go to sleep. The way that Intra is building overdrive count here is by using Beam Barrage, followed by one of his green arts, overdrive canceling, and then using Beam Barrage again. I was pretty bad about doing this during my run, so I'm going to edit in some footage of Intra doing that here so you can see what it looks like. And while that's going on, I am preparing to set up for a Wayward Weather Soul Voice. I ignored this Soul Voice because I know that it is the Medicine Woman from the Gravity Resistance up from Gravity Cloak. And then I run out here to get the Wayward Weather Soul Voice. If I had taken the Medicine Woman, I would have had to wait for it to run out, as otherwise I would not be able to get this prompt since I would already have another Soul Voice up. While all this has been going on, in order to keep Intra's TP up, OP Ninja has been spamming Last Stand in order to funnel TP into him. Because we now have the Wayward Weather Soul Voice, OP Ninja needs to run inside to inflict ether resistance down with Phenomenon, so I'm going to take over Last Stand duties for a short little bit while he does that. Additionally, while this is going on, Arominus walks into the house to break the tail off of the caro to give us the extra 10% added from the broken appendage. And we do have to do a little bit of fumbling here just with trying to manage the overdrive count because some of Intra's attacks ended up missing. So he's going to have to cancel an overdrive with, or cancel Beam Barrage with an overdrive in order to get the last few hits without dealing too much damage to the caro. Also to note is that we can see the back here on the caro is already broken, and this is because the sequence of arts that Intra uses is the first two beam barrages on the main body of the caro, followed by the other three on the back. This breaks the back appendage so that we don't need to spend extra damage doing so, while also minimizing the damage that Intra deals while building overdrive count. It's at this time during the setup that we get the crit power 5 buff that we need. I'm not going to talk about it as it's out of the scope of this video, but there is a glitch with crit power soul voices where it will give you a quote-unquote fake upgrade. So if we had run into this here, we would see a crit power 6 icon, but it would still be a crit power 4 and would not be able to upgrade to crit power 5. Intra will talk about more in detail how this glitch works in his video. I'll link that in the description when it comes out. But basically what's important is that with what we knew about the glitch at the time, we thought that it was completely out of our control, so it was pretty much random with how we were playing, whether or not we would see the glitch or see a real crit power 5. Here Intra is done building count, so he's going to run upstairs so that he can get the vantage for higher crit rate, and I begin weakening the appendage on the caro. It's at this point that Intra sees the crit power 5 and calls for sprinters. So we go and get a sprinter soul voice for effect stasis to extend the duration of the crit power, and I continue weakening the appendage for the phantom appendage setup. At this point as well, you can see Intra is using subterfuge to manage his TP on his own, as he now has 100 count and is able to fully refill his TP simply by using it. At this point we go for the buff sequence, as the appendage is weakened. This buff sequence is a range draw from OP Ninja, to which I respond to with Energy Source on Intra to give him potential up 6. Then a range draw from Arominus, which Intra will respond to with Hair Trigger for Supercharge 6. We then call out for more sprinters in a Howling Soul. I use decoy round to get the caro facing in this general direction, so that it is easy for Intra to position the side for his art for the extra damage from Toppler. And then I lock my art palette to being yellow by using Fierce Blast and then overdrive canceling it. This reduces the damage from Assault Hammer by about 4,000, which, given how little of the HP the caro can have left whenever we're going for the hit, is definitely an optimization that's worth making. I'm still in overdrive count at this point because we want to have the extra soul voice chance for Toppler. At this point, we're ready to go for the topple. Oromis will use Wild Down for the first topple, then I will use Assault Hammer for the second, and OP Ninja will use Assault Hammer again for the third. I then run away to set up for the Phantom Appendage and target onto it. I switch over to holding the knife, and then we had a series of callout here as we have only 1 second between when Intra activates the art and when it lands for me to break the appendage. Too soon and we lose the appendage, thus killing the run, and too late and we don't get the 10% additive for breaking the appendage. Also to note is after the topples landed, Oromis used Intercept to stun the caro for an additional additive. I break the appendage with auto attacks, and we land the 46 million. It was a low 46 million, and this is still barely beatable with a Vantage Attack Ray Gun, but this is the highest million barrier that is achievable with the current strategy and current knowledge, so there should never be anything higher than, I believe, a 46.4 is about as high as the strategy can go. With all that away, I'm going to go ahead and cut away to some closing thoughts and some thanks to everyone who was a part of everyone in our group that was a part of this grind, and I will see you in a minute. The full grind for this is about 30 total hours of footage, not including any testing, phantom appendage practice, or any other times where I just simply forgot to record. Spread out over about 6 months of real world time of us trying to coordinate and getting 4 people with practice on the strategy on at the same time. Shouts to Romanus, OP Ninja, and Intra who were all on the record run, Shulk who was in the attempt that I have included for whenever I was hitter, as well as many before then and since, and Glue who was in a lot of the runs, including some records, but not in either of the runs that I'm showcasing in this video. Our group considers this to be a 6-player shared record, as everyone was a part of the grind and everyone was in runs that were a record at some point during the grind. And this definitely wouldn't have happened as soon as it did without everyone being available for sessions. Also, a special shout out to Intra in particular, who did most of the work for coordinating the sessions and cooking the specifics of the strategy. He did a lot of the heavy lifting for this and setting things up, and will also be making his own far more well-made and far better edited video, which I'll link in the description whenever it releases. With all that out of the way, I'll leave you with the unedited attempt footage, as well as a short fail compilation afterwards. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Well, we've gotten everything but the appendage like twice.
You know, if it wasn't for appendage erosion's fault.
I'm gonna mess with that later. I'm gonna get my fucking heavy hitter debuff skull and play with that after we're done with this. Hey, 55. Early game.
Archie gets to play the game.
At current, I'm the only one who's known to get to play the game.
1 and 9.
Here you can spam it so fast it cuts off my own voice line. Max. We're living?
We're playing the game. Officially playing the fucking video game.
Alright, maximum focus, boys.
Weather.
It's sure to work now.
Alright, 97, 97.
I'll hope some last games then. You good?
99, 99. This is sprinter.
Last stand.
Alright, I'm at max. Oh, sprinter. I need sprinter. I have for power 5. Please, somebody.
Pulling for it.
Sprinter.
Got it.
Got it. Should stir them up.
Okay,
Range draw.
for power 5 right now. For power 5 right now.
Bolster our offense.
No, it didn't.
Opening injury. Almost range draw. I'm getting another sprinter.
Everybody else sprinter.
Here's a sprinter. Howling Soul.
Another sprinter.
Howling Soul.
Big. Last stand.
Topple.
Topple.
Got it.
Activating.
Switching. That was Phantom. Was that 46?
We did.
God! We're so fucking good! Hold on, can we do the celebratory round of beating enemies with Assault Hammer?
Yeah, dude! No! I promise!
Are we free?
No, it can get 47 million, I thought. But...
No, 46 is the highest.
46 is the highest. It's like 46.3, 46.4.
Hold on, let me check the leaderboard.
I'm sad that it's a 46.0. But dude, fuck this game. Fuck.
Let me check the leaderboard.
That was Phantom Appendage. That was Crypto.
That was Phantom.
That was
That is a low 46, but that is a goddamn 46. I almost hope that happens, because having 44.999 million would be really funny. Caro's up.
oh wow, he's zoomed up.
Yeah. He didn't like zoom you he just like instantly decided he wanted to be up here.
Gak is scouting me, man. Gak is scouting me. 73, 81, 89, 97, 100.
I'm in overdrive. Shulk, you can break the tail.
Start looking for weather.
I'm at max count.
Alright. There's weather. Alright, range draw with the Shulk. Range draw. Alright, Aronis. Alright, nice. R2 responds.
Got him.
Howling Soul. There's sprinter.
I might need TP. Cool.
Alright, and then I'm getting ready.
Wait for Shulk's soul boys.
Alright, yep. Oh, wait. Alright, Shulk. Topple. Alright, stun. Up.
44.2.
44. Alright, that was a crit. That was, below average stability roll. A close to average, I would say about, like, that's a 30%.
Okay.
So, not, like, the worst luck in the world, but... And then Shulk.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button. That was a hitter, can't hit it.
Ready? Too bad!
Primer! This round is gonna hurt like a bitch!